If you're considering using hard money for a real estate deal, it's important that you ask the right questions for two primary reasons. One, you let that lender know that you know what you're talking about because you're asking the right questions. And two, you need to understand all of the loan requirements so that you can compare against different hard money lenders and make sure that you use the right lender for your particular deal and situation. So I've compiled a list of 25 critical questions to ask every hard money lender that you're considering using. And I'm gonna go over that with you. But before we do, if you're new here, my name is Jerry Norton. I make millions of dollars a year wholesaling and flipping houses. And here on my YouTube channel, I show you how to do the same. So if you want to be a flipping genius like me and live your dream life, subscribe to my channel and watch my videos. Now I'm going to go through this list of 25 questions. I'm going to explain what these questions are and why we're asking these questions. And then I'm going to give you this list of 25 questions absolutely free so that you can have this in front of you when you're talking to and interviewing a hard money lender. Okay, the first question is, do you lend in my state? Now this is very important because hard money lenders have to be licensed, and licensing is regulated state by state. So you'll notice that some hard money lenders will do only one state, or maybe they'll do a handful of states. Every now and then you'll find a hard money lender that lends in all 50 states. That means they went and got licensed in all 50 states. So first question, do you lend in my state? Question number two, do you provide the rehab funds? Now some lenders will just lend on the purchase and others will lend also on the rehab. So if that's the case and you're doing a fix and flip, you'll also want to ask, what is the draw inspection schedule and fee? What's the process? Because in order for them to give you a draw for the rehab, they're probably going to send an inspector, and there's probably a cost to that every time you do it. And then that also leads into, well, how are the draws handled? Do you have to front the money? Do you submit invoices and then they reimburse you? So make sure you're asking how those draws are handled for the rehab portion. They're not going to give you the rehab funds up front for the rehabs. They're going to make you do the work and then submit for a draw. Okay, question number four is, what is the loan to value, LTV? They're going to lend to you on a percentage of the value of the property. That leads us to the fifth question. How do you base value? Is the value based on the current market value, the as-is value, or do you base the value on the after repair value, the future value once you fix it up? So you want to make sure what percentage of value do they lend on and how do they look at value, as is or ARV? Question number six, what is your loan to capital or loan to cost, LTC? So just because they lend on the value, they're also probably not going to lend you on the full cost. The full cost would be your purchase plus your rehab. So what percentage of the total capital or total cost are they going to lend on? Which that also leads into question number seven, which is what's the required down payment? So if they lend on 90% of total cost, then they're going to require a 10% down payment. But make sure you ask that. What's the required down payment? So question number 8 is, what is the interest rate? And question number 9, are payments interest only and are they paid monthly? Question number 10, do you charge points? Now most hard money lenders do. And are those points paid upfront or are they deferred and paid at the end of the payoff? Now, what is a point? A point is a lump sum fee of the loan amount. So if you're borrowing $100,000 and you have 1 point, that would be $1,000 paid in full, either upfront or at the end, but it's a lump sum fee for doing the loan. Okay, that's called a point. 1 point would be $1,000 on a $100,000 loan. Now, question 11 is, what are all of the miscellaneous fees? I call these junk fees. But there might be an origination fee, there might be a legal fee for the loan docs, there might be an appraisal fee, there might be additional fees on top of the interest and points, and you want to know what all of them are. Question 12 is, what of those fees are due upfront at closing? This is important because this is cash to closing that you're going to need to bring. I want to know, okay, of those additional fees, what of those is due upfront when we originate the loan on the purchase? Question number 13, do you require interest reserves? Now, what are interest reserves? Interest reserves are money set aside in your bank account to cover the interest payments over the life of the loan. So for example, let's say that you've got a $1,000 a month interest payment to the hard money lender and you're on a 6-month loan. They want to see that you have $6,000 set aside so that you can make those payments every month. Question number 14, are loan payments prorated? Now, prorated means that you're only paying on the amount of funds that you draw. So this would be specifically if you're doing a rehab loan and the rehab is included in the loan. That way you're only paying on what you draw. Some lenders will charge you the full amount because they have to allocate those funds up front for the deal. So even though you haven't drawn all the funds, you're still paying on it. So that's a question you want to make sure you find out. Now, question number 15 is, what is the length of the loan? Some loans are 6 months, maybe it's a 1-year loan. And if you go past that time frame, are there extension fees, and what are those fees? So some lenders will do a 6-month loan. If you need more time because you haven't sold your property yet, you can extend it for another 6 months, but you're typically going to pay extension fees. So you want to know what those are and how that works. Question number 16, do you have a prepayment penalty? So if you do a 6-month loan and you pay it off in 4 months, is there any type of penalty for doing that? Some lenders have a prepayment penalty, so make sure you understand that. Question number 17, can you provide a proof of funds for making offers? Now this allows you to then, while you're making offers to sellers or agents, you have a proof of funds letter from that lender that you can provide. This could be really helpful. By the way, if you don't, we offer those unlimited if you have a subscription to Flipster Pro or Flipster Prime. And like I said, you can get unlimited proof of funds letters. They're custom, so it's for the loan amount and the address of each property that you do. You can check that out at joinflipster.com to learn more. Okay, question number 18. How many deals will you do at a time? Some lenders will limit it to 1, or maybe after you do 1, maybe they'll do 2. So find out how many loans can you have with that particular lender at a time. And what do you need to do to create a history so that you can do more loans? Question number 19, what is the minimum and maximum loan sizes? Some have a minimum loan size of 100,000, some don't. Some have a maximum loan size of 500,000 or $1 million or whatever it may be. So find out the loan limit sizes. Question number 20, do you order a third-party appraisal? Now this is very important because if the lender does a third-party appraisal, then that may delay your closings because it takes time for that appraiser to get out there and do that. This is a very important question I like to ask because if they do third-party appraisals, then I know that I'm never going to try to do a closing in under 30 days because my experience has been that that will be a hang-up when we're waiting on appraisals. Some lenders will do what's called a desk review, and that's where they internally will do the appraisal, meaning they just comp it themselves in-house. And when that's the case, they can turn around loans pretty quick. Question number 21. How long do you need to close? So this kind of goes back to that same question of, if I execute a contract with a seller, how much time do you need to be ready to close? Now, if they say we can close in 10 days, we can close in 2 weeks, whatever they tell you, add another week just so that you're safe. Okay, question number 22. What is the process to submit a deal for approval? Do they have a portal that you have to upload? What's all the information that they need? So you just want to understand that process. Everyone's going to have a different way. Maybe you email somebody. What's that process look like? How long does it take to get approval? That's your next question. What's the process? And then is it a 3-day turnaround, a 5-day turnaround? How long does it take for you to get full approval? Question number 24, how long are these terms good for? This is very important because most hard money lenders, they fluctuate on rate and terms based on how much capital they have available. So as they lend more money, they raise their rates. As they have more capital available, sometimes they lower their rates. So find out, are these terms good for 30 days? And then the last question, question number 25, can you provide a term sheet in writing? So everything that we've just talked about, can you get that to me in writing? This is important because I've had lenders tell me one thing on the phone, and then when we get down to it and it's the day of closing, they have completely different terms at closing that I was not expecting. So make sure that you get that in writing, up front. Now what I do is I take this entire lead sheet, we call it, and it's got all these questions, all 25 of these questions. I have that up in front of me, and when I'm talking to that particular hard money lender, I go through and I fill out all these questions, and then I make sure that when they give me that term sheet, it matches what we talked about. And again, oftentimes I'll interview 3, 4, 5 different hard money lenders to see who has the best rate and terms. And you have to look at the whole picture because maybe they have a lower interest rate, but they have higher points. Or maybe they'll do a 1-year loan and others will do a 6-month loan. Whatever it is, you want to consider your deal, what you're looking to do, and the terms and fees from each particular lender, and then choose the one that you feel the most comfortable with and the one that you want to build a long-term relationship with. Oftentimes these hard money lenders, the more you do with them, the better rate and terms they'll give you. And that's, another great question is, as we do more deals together, will you give me a better rates and better terms? And so this is a list of all those questions. Now guys, hard money can be a very magical thing when you learn how to tap into it. Most hard money lenders want to lend 80 to 90% of the cost of your project. And like I said in the beginning, I'll give this to you for free. If you go to myfundingkit.com, you can download this for free. In that download too, you're going to get all kinds of really cool things that I put together in this funding kit. You're going to get a hard money handbook. You're going to get my private lender cheat sheet. I've got creative financing download in there as well, my capital calculator, and a whole bunch of other really cool things, all combined into this total package that we call the funding kit. My goal is to get 100% funding on all the deals that I do. Usually I combine that between hard money and private money, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. So go to myfundingkit.com to download that right now. And I want you to watch this next video where I show you how to combine hard money with private money to get 100% funding on all your deals. This is how I do most of my deals, and it really allows you to then do more and grow your business because you're utilizing other people's money and 100% of capital to do that. So watch that now, and I'll see you on the next video.